You know, after playing Dragon's Dogma 2, and most part I'm kind of finished with it, I want to play something more challenging. You know, if you play Dark Souls in the past, you know what I mean. You really want a challenging game similar to it. So the thing is that in April there are two games that are kind of well, Souls-like, some of them more or less. The first one is No Rest for the Wicked. It's coming in early access on Steam on April 18th, 2024. Now this is being developed by Moon Studios, which made also Ori and the Will of the Wisp, with one of my top favorite games of all time. Absolutely brilliant art, an amazing game, an amazing story. And they actually took a big shift developing this game, and now they're actually focusing on a more kind of, well, it's still action oriented, but it's more Souls-like. So in the description they actually mentioned this is, again, action RPG set to reinvent the genre. The next one is Stellar Blade. This is a PS5 exclusive game coming April 26, 2024. Again, a few days after our previous game. And if you're like me, you kind of think, alright, which one to play first, which one to delay? Well, because again, there are going to be some challenging games. Basically, because I think the Stellar Blade is kind of, you know, you finish with it, maybe it's going to be some New Game Plus, but maybe for some it's going to be a game that you finish and just move on to the next game. Maybe it's a game that you want to play first. Now I don't know to which extent the end game will take us in, again, because it's early access, in No Rest for the Wicked, but I do expect it to be, well, have better replay value in that aspect. So if it's something like a mix of Diablo and kind of a Souls game, it's going to be very interesting, but should have very good replay value after you finish the campaign. But again, it's in early access. Again, of course, it's not complete game, so we need to see how far it's actually stretched when it comes to endgame content. So what I'm saying is maybe you should start with Stellar Blade and then move on to No Rest for the Wicked. But again, depends. Maybe you just want to play it straight on when it launches, which I completely understand. And for those of you who are just, you know, maybe just going to choose one between the two for different reasons, you know, you probably want to know which one, well, it's better to play. So again, of course, I haven't played them. They haven't been released just yet as of the time making this video, but I'm going to share with you my thoughts about which one I prefer. So first of all, I did play the demo version of Stellar Blade because it's available on the PlayStation 5 and you can download it for free and play it a short time, and then after that you can just replay this boss, which actually gives you a good understanding of the combat. The combat is very well still in-depth. There are lots of combos you can learn, and they really put lots of attention to all the details and make sure the combat feels very, very satisfying, and it's of course very challenging as well. Now regarding the world itself, I wasn't immersed with the world. I didn't really like the design, but again, it's just such a small part that I can't really judge the game because of that. But something about the world just kept me, you know, not immersed enough. That being said, the combat and the different combos felt very, very satisfying. Very flashy and great, of course, super smooth, 60 FPS with really just beautiful visuals. You can also play, by the way, with 30 FPS if you choose with enhanced visuals, but personally, visually, I haven't noticed any difference, so I prefer playing in 60 FPS. And again, it's first action game, so definitely I'm going to go with 60 FPS nonetheless. Now the game also has some platforming, some puzzle elements which were actually nice, although when it comes to this type of game I really don't care. I care about the combat, the bosses, you know, and the loot. But when I look at the skill tree, it seems very limited, so I told myself, come on, I just wanted something more, something, well, that more depth to it, and it just seems like it's pretty limited. But again, this is just the demo, maybe there is more. There are different actually trees, I think like 5 in total, like survival, attack, and beta, which are the more special, stronger attack, and other ones that, well, I don't know what exactly because you need to unlock them, but you can see that there are lots of combos that you can actually make, so it's kind of a combo Souls-like type of game. It's kind of similar to Souls like games in a way, but more forgiving when it comes to checkpoints. You also don't lose gold when you die, so it seems like it's more forgiving in that aspect, but borrows some of the elements from Souls-like games. I also really like also the training feature. For each aspect of the game here in the skill tree, you can actually see video and also train against an NPC when you are in the station, not in combat. You can actually train and just practice the combos you actually want to focus at. So yeah, straight from the skill tree, you can just get in and try to focus on the specific combos. You can actually see the combos and stuff. So it's really very, very tight combat oriented type of game that if you love these type of things, you're gonna absolutely love it. Again, plays in third-person perspective as well. But again, my first impression with the demo, with the world, it feels bland and not really inviting. I mean, when it comes to, for example, Bloodborne, you have this, you know, goofy, dark environment. But here we just felt, less artistic, I don't know, less interesting to explore. Pretty boring, even, to be honest. And for example, I'm just expecting something to have a stronger, punch when you start the game like that, like beautiful environment, exciting environment to look, to play on the PlayStation 5, something that looked different and exciting, and then you see something like that. I mean, you can see it for yourself. And when it comes to No Rest for the Wicked, what you see here, there are just, I mean, if you play Ori, you already know that Moon Studios are absolutely, let's say, the top of their game when it comes to art style in their video games. So I'm very optimistic that again this will be made to perfection, especially in early access. We're going to learn from feedback from users and even improve it. But there are two companies that are really, not only two, but among the two that I really put trust in are actually Moon Studios, the developer who is developing No Rest for the Wicked, and also Naughty Dog, the developer of The Last of Us. There are two devs that, when they make a game, I kind of know that it's going to be amazing. Now, almost everything in the game, I think there's a procedural generation in some of the dungeons and endgame content, but again, the game is beautifully animated, handcrafted, and this is what we've seen in Ori, and I know this game you can see that even from the trailer, that game just looks amazing. It carries really beautiful artistic style that look at that, it's just stunning. This is the world that I want to dive in a video game. And when I compare it, of course, to the Stellar Blade, it just felt completely the opposite. Now, I watched a video that posted on Moon Studios about streamers who actually got early access to the game, and probably just for a short duration. And they actually mentioned that combat feels really meaty, and this is something I'm looking for. Actually, with Stellar Blade, it felt good, but not that meaty, to be honest. But still felt very, very good. Nonetheless, I saw the loot part, with different item drops that you get with, kind of Diablo-like, all the different stats and different rarities, and something that I really like in Diablo games, and the combination of both Souls games and that also brings something different to the table in that aspect. So this is why, again, if you're kind of thinking about, well, I want to play something different, and if you play Ori in the past, you really love the design of the game, and you love Souls games, and if you love Diablo. So I think, generally speaking, although this is going to be an early access game, I think the Rest of the Wicked might be one that you should prefer buying. But again, I'm talking about difficulty. I don't know to what stretch each game we're going to take the Souls-like genre or inspired by it. Again, I told you that in that particular game, it feels more forgiving compared to a Souls game. So it's not like, for example, Lies of P, that first will totally Souls-like game from start to finish. For example, here you can see Lies of P. I love this game, and again, when sometimes a game comes that play like a pure Souls-like game, this is something that I kind of must play. And this game turned out to be such an amazing and fun game that I'm so happy that I actually gave it a chance and not moved to another game instead. So again, Stellar Blade, because I played the demo, it's not going to be like a, the Souls-like game type of game that you can expect similar to other Souls-like game. It's not going to be like it. So if you're searching for a pure Souls-like game, probably it won't be like that. But it's very, very similar in many ways, with different places you can actually rest, and checkpoints, and the limited amount of health that you can have, the really tight and challenging combat and boss fights. So again, I think that if you're searching for something kind of more Souls-like type of experience, and of course when it comes to the third-person gameplay experience, Stellar Blade probably gonna be it. Now, speaking about, by the way, third person, here you can see that it's third person, but the camera is pretty close to the character. But in No Rest for the Wicked, it's kind of a more Diablo-like top-down type of third-person perspective. So Stellar Blade feels kind of more of a personal type of gameplay. Here you can see the camera, it's kind of a more top-down view of it. So again, it's different, depends what you like. Of course, this is not the main thing that probably will make you buy one over the other, but who knows, I'm just sharing that information. But personally, if I had to choose just one, I would probably go with No Rest for the Wicked, because of the things that I mentioned, because of the beautiful art style. I already know Moon Studios will nail it when it comes to all the different aspects of the game. Even though it's early access, from what I've read, again, not official, like 80% around of the game is kind of finished, so it's not going to be complete, but supposed to be end game. Don't take my word for it. Again, not 100% sure, but should be enough fun content to enjoy the game. But one important thing, if you don't want to burn the game, you know, when it comes to early access, some people play it and it doesn't matter if it's released in the final version, they just won't continue playing it because it's just gonna burn and the game is just gonna move to the next game. This is the reason why I didn't play Baldur's Gate before. I just wanted to you know, when the game is released, so I can actually enjoy it from start to finish without actually spoiling anything for myself, and also, you know, just you know, not burn the game and just feel like, all right, I'm just gonna move to the next game. So if you're among those, maybe you should, you know, think about just getting Stellar Blade and just wait and play Norse for the Wicked when it launches in its final release. Who knows when this day comes? Yeah, but I'm just saying. I mean, if you think about it, it might not come at all. But again, when it comes to Moon Studios, you know, we're dealing here with a great indie studio, so this is very, very unlikely. And to be honest, the more I play games, the more I learn to actually appreciate, you know, handcrafted games like Moon Studios are actually making. So this is not going under the table. I learned to appreciate the dev and I put my trust in them. Same goes with Naughty Dog, for example. So yeah, I really want to, you know, kind of even support the dev in this aspect. You know, they're releasing game in early access. You know, they have, of course, the reasons why doing so. They want also to get feedback from the community. So I feel like kind of encouraged to actually do so while actually enjoying a great game on the way. And that is for this video. What are your thoughts? Getting both? Getting just one? And if just one, which one? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, consider subscribing to my channel. Actually, don't consider. Just subscribe. I mean, why not? See you on the next one. Cheers.